Well, this is part 3 of my topic, spiritual debt collection. I wrote most of it down so I wouldn't forget some essential points. I need to share that in this message, I'm not expressing about all white people, but those who the shoes fit. I plan to do a part 4 to this to tell of my appreciation for the white folks who aided and aid in helping black people and other so-called minorities. History has long been told incompletely with distortions and outright lies. This is to help set some things straight with more truth additions. There are many folks who mistakenly believe that white folks are superior. That's indeed false. Some white folks carry themselves as if they're better, when truth is that there are no superior people, nor are there inferior people. Yes, lots of white people have more financial advantages and high incomes, but that isn't necessarily impressive. Why? Because they got huge head starts due to the multiplied, repeated, and long-term atrocities committed by their ancestors. Ancestors who murdered, stole, tricked, abused, and cheated black folks, Native Americans, and other people. White folks today are beneficiaries of what their ancestors got by cruel, unjust, and unethical means. It is highly likely that white folks were the original thugs. Original or not, they indeed had thuggery in their history. Many of us watch film footage of white people verbally and physically attacking black people simply because they didn't want black folks to vote or to integrate schools, etc. Yes, we watch those uncivilized white people brutalized with their venomous and cruel actions. Black civil rights workers were murdered, some of them by law enforcement thugs. Homes of black folks were set on fire, displacing families. The list of horrific occurrences goes on and on. There's that saying about folks pulling themselves up by their bootstraps. Well, truth be told, many white people pull themselves up by the bootstraps of black folks. Black folks who picked cotton that was used to put clothes on white people, among other ways that cotton picking benefited white people. Yes, black folks spent years in cotton fields while white folks sat on their lazy asses drinking Charlies and smoking and chewing tobacco. Tobacco that black folks picked for them under the cruelty of slavery practices. There are countless ways that white folks murdered, stole, and cheated their ways into lives of privilege. Those methods used are not impressive at all. While it's true that modern-day white folks had no involvement in the slavery atrocities, they continue to benefit from what their ancestors did. Subsequently, favor and economic advantages were passed on to the white folks who live today. Yes, white people receive huge advantages by having black folks build, cook, plow, care for white children, do laundry, pick cotton and tobacco, plant, shop, repair, etc. All those things were done with no wages paid to the black folks. Free labor provided at length for years, for generations, involuntarily because of threats of death, beatings, family separations, and whatever else the so-called owners deemed suitable to feed their beastly conduct. Yes, indeed, white folks reaped and continue to reap what black folks sowed. Same goes for the Native Americans and others who I have not mentioned here. But you know who they are, those who really are informed and educated. I had the pleasure of working with a few white people who were of excellent character. I deeply appreciate those people and my experiences with them. On the flip side, I worked with more than a few who had the false notion that they were better than black folks or Native Americans and other so-called minorities. I'll share 2 of my own personal cases in point. I used to work years ago for temp agencies, and one day I was sent on an assignment to do some clerical work. Well, when I got there, the man that I was assigned to did a bait and switch on me. He informed me that the clerical assignment had disappeared. He didn't use the word disappeared, but that's what, in fact, was in essence relayed to me. So instead, he said he was going to be magnanimous. He offered me to stay there to perform some household tasks, some house cleaning duties. And I don't have anything against people or any disrespect for folks who do housekeeping for a living. More power to whatever you do to get your income honestly, to care for your family, and so forth. However, in this instance, I wasn't sent there for that. And he called himself being quote unquote generous to me by offering me that as an alternative. Hell to the no. I let him know that I would be leaving the premises and I would not accept his magnanimous offer. And he was quite surprised. The look on his face was like, I don't believe she's going to turn down some money if she can make the day if she does the house cleaning. Yes, that's precisely what I did. So I had another assignment that I was sent on, and the manager there, he got pissed off because I wasn't there to kiss ass. He expected an ass kisser, and that's not what he got when I arrived. So I worked there several days, and the more I worked there, the more he saw that I was confident and that I had no notions that I was inferior, despite the fact that he believed he was superior. So he called the tip agency representative and let him know that they didn't want me to finish out my time that had been previously designated for me to stay there. I think it was the end of the week or maybe the end of the following week or whatever. He wanted me replaced. I guess he didn't verbalize it, but he wanted an ass kisser up in there. And I didn't fulfill that quote unquote qualification. So I told the temp rep, no, you telling him I'm leaving today. She was shocked, and he was shocked, because they thought I was pressed and desperate to make some money. No, I wasn't in that category, so I bounced. Woo! Anyhow, people, I thank y'all for listening. And again, I want to repeat that I do not have any inclination to put all white people in the same category of being beasts in conduct. Again, have met some excellent ones and worked with some excellent ones, and I will do another video, part 4, to expand further on that. So I do have appreciation for those white folks who know that they are not superior and behave accordingly. So thank y'all again. Bye now.